understand it. I just gotta check, you wouldn't understand it. Just cop the foreign whip, you wouldn't understand.
We got the new song that's been bumping in the streets, Understanding, with Rocco.
Understanding, definitely. That record is that record. Every time I speak about the record, I still really can't believe it. I can't believe how big the record just got so quick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like right now, it's on a countdown on V103. Shout out to DJ Infamous. It's on a countdown on Streets 94.5. Shout out to Holiday, everybody over there. You know what I mean? And the record's just going crazy right now. So I'm just honored. Shout out to Rocco, A1 since day one. You know, we here.
All right. So how did that collaboration come about? Because I know you know, just kind of reading up on you and, you know, following a few folks on Instagram. You know what I mean? You know a lot of people here, although, definitely. You know, you're from New York, Queens, New York. You know a lot of people here in Atlanta. Just how that collaboration with Rocco come about?
We was all in the studio, me, Rocco, Fabulous. We was all in the studio, and I was actually in a session, and I was working, and Rocco happened to walk by, and he heard the beat. So he heard the beat playing, so he came in, and I was in the course of laying my vocals. So he waited till I laid my verse. Of course, I went and took it, did it real quick. So he heard it, said, yo, this record is crazy. So hold up, I gotta get on that.
Right.
And needless to say, the rest is history.
Okay.
He jumped on it. You know, we did what we needed to do and just put it out there, and the response has been tremendous.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good to, you know, have friends,
Definitely.
industry friends that support you in your movement and everything.
Definitely, man. I've been blessed in that regard too, man. Shout out Rocco, shout out Future, man. Meek Mills, Fabulous, you know, French Montana. Shout out all of them out, man. All those are my peoples, man. You know.
Okay.
I appreciate all their support.
All right. So how long have you been here in Atlanta?
I've been here about 4 years now. I opened a club down here actually, and I've been here ever since.
Right. So for the people that don't know who's viewing, Fly Ty, he does have like a criminal past, which he's, you know,
definitely
rehabilitated and everything, living a whole new life.
you know, everything I went through made me who I am. You know, so at this point I don't live with no regrets. You know what I mean?
Right.
My life is an open book, so whatever questions you got, just shoot them. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, I ain't afraid to ask questions. Okay. So the 15-year bid that you were doing, they were for murder charges.
Yeah, I served 15 years for a double murder.
Okay. All right.
Double murder. It was a situation where, you know, my brother was murdered. My brother was living in the streets. He was living a street life, and he ended up getting murdered. And as a result of him getting murdered, you know, him being my hero, him being who I looked up to.
Right.
You know, at that time I wanted retaliation. So I ended up, you know, retaliating and taking 2 individuals' lives that was instrumental in my brother dying.
Okay. All right. So while serving your time, like what are some of the things that you were, you know, just kind of pondering on? Like when I get out of here, you know what I mean? What type of plans, things are you trying to put in action for yourself when you wanted to get out?
You know, everything that I really planned, I really brought to fruition, plus more.
Okay.
So, you know, I went to jail at 16 years old. And when I went to jail, I didn't have a GED, I didn't have nothing. I came home at 31. So, you know, at that time, while I was in prison, I obtained my GED. You know, the first 5 or 6 years, I was getting in a lot of trouble. And then I got another brother by the name of Webb. You know, he's the one who he signed Joe Buttons, he signed Fabulous to Desert Storm. He's part owner of Desert Storm, and I was getting all these pictures, everything that was going on out there. And it came a point I said, you know, I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. So I took an active role, you know what I mean, and you know, just getting my stuff together. So I went on and got my GED. I further went on and got my bachelor's degree in political science. You know what I mean? And music has always been like a therapeutic outlet for me. You know, it's always been therapeutic for me. So it was just like a natural progression for me just to get involved. You know.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned that the political science, like what interests you in that area?
I really you know. Well,
because you don't hear hear a black male say that.
Let me say this.
I got a degree in political science.
In prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a select few college programs,
Mm-hmm.
and they offer a select few courses.
Okay.
Should I say? And majors
Mm-hmm.
is a better word. And it was political science was like one of the only ones that they was offering for the bachelor's program.
Okay.
So I had to take what I could get at that point.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But I happen to like it because, you know, it's a little political science is really broad. It covers human services, it covers a variety of different things. So it was interesting.
Okay. For those who don't know, because I visited a friend of mine that's in prison, and he's been there quite some time. And one of the things I asked him, I said, "Did you get your degree?" And he said, "No, he didn't." And I'm like, "You've been in here all this time." You know what I mean? And he explained that, of course, even when you're in prison and trying to get an education, it still costs money.
It does.
Can you explain to our viewers like the process of that?
I did my entire 15 years in New York, locked up in New York, and when I first got arrested, the state was funding the college programs.
Okay.
At that point.
All right.
But that's when I was still running around like a knucklehead. So in 1998, Governor Pataki came in and he did it that.
Okay.
He did it, paying for college programs using taxpayers' money to pay for college or whatever the case may be. So if you wanted to go to college, you had to pay for it yourself. And they still only offered a select few courses and majors. So I had to definitely pay for it.
Okay. All right. So once you had your plan and now you're back out on the streets, it's good that you somewhat already been connected with some people that could probably, help put you in certain positions or whatever. You know what I mean? To make your process not as hard as somebody who don't have anybody or don't have family when they get out of prison. Like, who were some of those people influential of helping you get back out into society and becoming who you are now?
Definitely my brother. I would say DJ Clue, Fabulous, my wife, just the rest of my family. I was fortunate enough to have a huge support system while I was incarcerated, and a lot of people don't have that same support system. So I was blessed in that regard. So it made my transition that much easier.
But what would you say to just women out there who supporting their men and they're incarcerated?
I think that first thing I would say is I would commend them because for a person like me that did 15 years, I understand how the system is set up. And unfortunately, the system is set up to break our women down. You know what I mean? And so I truly understand that you have to be mentally built as a woman to be able to deal with that. You know what I mean? To be able to deal with having an individual incarcerated. You got to deal with the belittling of the COs. You got to deal with the, just the everything. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot, and I ran through my shared relationships in 15 years. And initially, when I first started, I was under the belief that if a girl left me, she didn't love me or she didn't care about me. And over the years, and with development and maturity, I've come to understand that had nothing to do with it. It was just that they wasn't mentally built for it. So I would commend every woman that could stand by that man and hold him down, And I'll say that everybody that got a girl that's holding them down, that's in prison, you come home and do the right thing. Right. Do the right thing, because I got some regrets in that regard, But you live and you learn.
Right. Okay. So while you were in prison, you had time to write a book?
Yes, I wrote 2 books actually.
Okay. All right. Road to Redemption is one.
Yeah, Road to Redemption is one book. And the Road to Redemption is really my road to redemption. I speak from being a victim in terms of my brother being murdered and you know, me and my family being victimized. And then I speak from the standpoint of becoming a victimizer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've never seen nobody do that. Speak from both sides.
Okay.
So I felt like I was giving it, you know, I was giving the people something that would resonate with them in that regard, you know?
Right.
And then my second book is called A Basic Guide to Getting the Rap Game.
Okay.
And that book is just, you know, I wanted to write a book because over the years I read a lot of music books, but some of them it was hard for me to understand because it was just too technical, legal jargon and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to put a body of work together that the average 16-year-old kid could pick up and understand. He could understand what ASCAP is. He could understand what performing rights is. He could understand what collateralization is and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's what I set out to do, and fortunately I was able to accomplish that.
Okay, all right. Where can someone pick up those books?
They can get them books anywhere. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.com,
Okay.
buybooksontheweb.com. They can just Google them and they'll just pop up.
All right. So what is some of the advice or something that kind of stands out for you right now that you wrote in the book as some good advice?
For which book?
The guide to
the music book.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things that I touch on in the music book is how imperative it is to put together a good team. You know what I mean? Have a team around you that believes in what you believe in, that sees your vision for what you wanted to see, for what you want for your vision. You know?
Right.
Because when you got people around you like that, all they can do is contribute to the energy that's already flowing, and can none but great things come from that.
So you started off kind of as a promoter, right? Say you had your club, you know, club owner, promoter. Like, where did the rapping come? Where did that come in at?
Well, I actually always rapped. I just never really took it serious. For instance, I was the first person to ever be on an album, somebody's album from jail over the phone. Back in 2000, DJ Clue, he was signing Rockefeller Records, and he had dropped 3 albums: The Professional Part 1, The Professional Part 2, and The Professional Part 3. And I was actually on The Professional Part 2, and that was back in 2000. I did a song. I recorded a song from jail over the phone called Phone Patch, and I used the Raekwon Incarcerated Scarface beat. So I actually been rapping. I've been playing with it since as early as I can remember. But it's like now, you know, it's not a game no more.
Right.
It's serious, you know?
Yeah, like no need to sit on the tablet. Right, for what? Okay, so DJ Clue, have you dropped mixtapes? Or you in the process of dropping a mixtape?
I'm in the process of dropping an EP.
Okay.
Right now, my first single is Understand It. My second single is called Smoke and Mirrors. It's Fly Tie featuring Future and French Montana. Okay. So that's that. Look out, y'all be on the lookout for that one too. That's gonna tear the streets up. That's gonna tear him up. If they understand it, it's tearing him up. That's gonna tear him up too. And we just gonna keep working. Okay. You know, see what happens.
All right. So what was your reasoning behind releasing an EP versus, you know, a mixtape?
Because I felt like everybody's doing the mixtape thing, and I didn't just want to just make a bunch of songs that could just be thrown away. Right. You know, I believe in what I do, and I believe that my music is timeless. So I wanted to put together a body of work that represents that, and I didn't want it just to be a mixtape. You know.
Right, because you have a story to tell too,
Definitely.
so it's like, you know.
Definitely.
All right, so far, who you worked with Future, you worked with Jules Santana, Lil Durk, Cap One,
I work with
Rocco,
French Montana, Fabulous, Tracy T. I don't want to leave nobody out because you know everybody can.
Right. You give me no shout out, man.
Yeah. Who else did I work with? I work with a lot of people. I can't really recall right now, man, but I've definitely worked with some great people. Okay. And I'm honored to have had the opportunity to work with.
Okay. Out of those individuals, like, who was your favorite to work with? Who was the easiest person that you kind of collab with? You guys got a good vibe going on in the studio?
I would have to say, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I had, you know, because I had fun. I had fun with it, regardless. You know what I mean? And then outside of the music, everybody that I work with, I have a personal relationship with.
Okay.
So it's not like we in there just doing music. It's like we in there, we kicking it.
Right.
You know, we catch the vibe and come and we just go, you know?
As far as like the club scene, let's talk about that a little bit, that you having that background as a club owner.
Actually on 2 clubs.
Okay.
I own a club here in Atlanta called Room Service Lounge.
Okay.
And I own a club in Miami Beach called Room Service Lounge as well. The one here is 1937 Piedmont Circle, Midtown. And the one in Miami is 929 Washington Ave. It's directly on the beach.
Okay, all right. As a club owner, for someone who wants to get into that side of the business, what are some things that they need to do in order to set themselves up to be able to do that? Outside of money, of course. You know what I mean?
I think that the most important thing. They need to do is have a passion for it, if that's what they really want to get into. You know, because I've come to learn you have a passion for something, and you don't just look at it from a monetary standpoint.
You wouldn't understand it.
And the money's always gonna come.
I just gotta check, you wouldn't understand it. Just cop the foreign whip, you wouldn't understand.
It's lucrative. But it's also a lot of headaches that come with it as well.
Yeah. It seems like a very hard business to be in.
Definitely.
Because it has a lifespan about 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, you know.
Exactly.
And then it's like on to the next club, or
That's
keep
it.
the same location, change the name, the inside, renovate the inside some.
That's it.
Okay, all right. So everybody who's out there trying to open up a club or be a promoter, it definitely starts with having passion, and you got to love the nightlife. You really got to be somebody that.
When you got a wife, she got to be just as understanding.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so just to end the interview, what do you want people to know about Fly Tie? Because I think the public, now that you said you had a day full of press to do, so the public is starting to learn more about you, because I don't think you've had, you know, a lot of stuff out there about you on the net especially, so.
I think, what do I want people to know about me? I just want people just to, you know that when you see me, what you see is what you get.
Okay.
You know, my life is an open book. You know, I got a history. You know what I mean? And I just hope that I'm not defined by my worst deed.
Right.
That's all I can ask. You know what I mean? Who I was 20 years ago, that's not who I am today.
No.
That's all I ask.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Understand, featuring Rocco out right now.
Yeah, y'all definitely go check that out. It is a hard song. I listened to it. I've heard it in the club before as well.
Definitely.
So definitely support Fly Tie on his endeavors. Be looking out for that new EP around August time.
Around August time, My Life, Your Entertainment.
Okay. Do you have a website? How people can follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is I am Fly Tie. Ty got 2 Y's. It's IAMFLYTYY. That's IAMFLYTYY. And it's the same thing for Twitter. Yeah, y'all know this is, man. Fly Tie. You know what I mean? Y'all know I rep that Desert Storm, that street fitted of that. And you best believe I'm rocking with Stacks Magazine. Catch up.
You wouldn't understand it. I just gotta check you